welcome. Welcome to this edition of Disaster That Nobody Wants to Talk About, where we delve into the chaos, the calamity, and colossal blunder known as Brexit. I mean, seriously, who thought it was a good idea? Not many now, as it seems, that's for sure. And well, yeah, please boot the old like button, it does the channel a world of good, you know. Well, as predicted, by those with common sense, unfortunately it's not too common anymore. Well, Brexit has been nothing short of a flippin' train wreck. Now, we've got inflation, labour shortages, business closures and travel nightmares, all thanks to that brilliant decision to leave the European Union. And don't get me started on the supply chain mess, threatening the future of car manufacturing in the United Kingdom. This is enough to make your flippin' head spin. Well, let's talk about travelling between Europe and the United Kingdom. Well, it's become a punishing ordeal. Spending hours in, chaotic passport control lines, just waiting to get your passport stamped. I mean, who doesn't love just wasting your precious vacation time at the border? Thanks, Brexit. Well, even the music industry is suffering. British musicians are finding it hard to tour in the EU, due to, ridiculous costs and red tape. Elton John himself called it crucifying. Yeah, that's right, crucifying. Well, I can't imagine a world without, the British music industry touring the European stages. Up-and-coming bands and all that, they've all been scuppered by Brexit. Yeah, thanks, Brexit. For stifling creativity and cultural exchange. Times were good, you know, when we were in the EU. But then we got Nigel Farage to put a spanner in the flippin' works. Well, it doesn't stop there, though, folks. According to the UK's Office of Budget and Responsibility, Brexit has caused a whopping 4% hit to the Britain's gross domestic product. Other economists say it's near 6%, such as Adam Posson. Well, I know who I believe. Well, that's the same magnitude of damage as the COVID pandemic. Now, can you believe it, eh? We've got a pandemic-sized economic disaster on our hands. All in the name of Brexit. And they don't want to talk about it. And guess what? The majority of Britons have, quite frankly, they've had enough of this madness. According to a YouGov poll, 57% of them say that leaving the European Union was a massive mistake. You don't say! Well, and a slim majority wants to rejoin it. Still a majority. As a slim majority that pulled us out of it, quite frankly. But even Nigel Farage himself, Mr. Brexit himself, admitted that Brexit has failed. Thanks, Nige. Tell us something we didn't know already. And then you've got Anne Widdecombe, old Farage's bit on the side, saying, it's not that Brexit is a failure, it's how we've implemented Brexit is a failure. Well, you finally got something right, Nige. What about, the baffling political, taboo surrounding Brexit? But people don't want to talk about it now. It's like a painful, wound that just, you'll pick at, you do. Pick. It's like an irritation. And then you wish you didn't. Well, come on, folks. Let's have some honest conversation about this flipping disaster that's unfolding before our eyes. Well, sure there are some who argue that we must honour the democratic referendum. But it wasn't democratic. It was influenced with foreign money. And that's been proven through, Cambridge Analytica. Well, they call that democracy, do you? Well, if that's democracy, you can keep it, quite frankly. But I suppose in democracy sometimes you do crazy things together even, maybe. Well, the key here is to recognise the mistake and learn from it. If we don't accept that Brexit has buggered us all up, well, how are we going to fix it? How are we going to come up with the answers? You can't just stick your head in a flippin' sand and pretend it's all hunky-dory. No. Now, some may say there's a silver lining. Lovely. That Brexit serves as a cautionary tale for the rest of Europe. Don't do it! Well, isn't that peachy? The EU might be holding together. But who needs the headache and heartache that Brexit has brought upon Brits? Even though they voted for it. Oh dear. Now you got right-wing nationalist projects. Well, they start with a bang, but tend to end in disaster. You got Vox in Spain, and we got Giorgio Meloni in Italy, causing a lot of ruckus, you could say. It's all going badly, if you ask me. Remember that, my fellow Brits, yeah? So let's face the reality and talk about the consequences and work towards a better future. Maybe, just maybe, after all this mess settles, if it ever does, we can forge a closer, trade and immigration ties with Europe, and eventually find a way back to the European single market. It's not necessarily impossible, although it will be very difficult, folks. Well, in the meantime, let's not forget the colossal error that Brexit has been. Let's learn from it and not repeat the madness, and explain to others don't do it. For heaven's sakes, yeah. Maybe we should talk about it openly and honestly, so we can avoid more disasters that no one wants to talk about. Until next time, this has been a disaster nobody wants to talk about. Cheers. Crikey, what a flippin' mess that we got ourselves into. Oh, you tell me. Leave it in the comments down below. The more I think about it, the more depressing I become. Or depressed I become, I don't know. I think about my children, my grandchildren, and how their futures have been scuppered by a few old gammons that have decided that Brexit was a good idea. Selfish individuals that they are. Anyway, like I say, you tell me. Leave it in the comments down below. What channel you do. You ain't buy us coffee or Patreon. Links down below. We've also got channel memberships as well, for which we will be adding some perks. That we will. It's time for me to go, so say ta-ta, you know. So ta-ta. And my advice to you is don't Brexit. Don't Grexit. Don't Elexit. No. Or Erexic. Oh, crikey, I'm losing the plot now. Ta-ta.